speaker. Just bring me on the stage, girl. I'm ready. I'm ready to break free. I'm ready to make it happen right here, right now. So without further ado, shall we just dive in right here, right now? I am so excited. I feel blessed and honored to introduce the first speaker of today. She's going to talk about how you can break free and make it happen. The woman that I'm going to bring on the stage is a woman who's not only talking about this message, but she is this message. And you will feel that through her story, through her heart. So without further ado, Kristin, Ericksen, welcome to the stage. You're going to talk about how to make it happen, how to break free. The stage is yours, my friend. Let's go.
You know, Lori, isn't it interesting how we have together come full circle? Because when I met you, I was hiding in the shadows behind stage. But as of last month, you witnessed me breaking free and stepping onto that stage in Atlanta in my red dress, and we made it happen. You know, I had this epiphany. It reminds me of a story of a few years ago. Let's just leave it there. When I was a celebrity personal trainer in Los Angeles, Hollywood, California, right? A-list celebrities that the list would just blow your mind. But every single day, I had to wake up at 3:45 in the morning just to get on the 405 freeway at 4:30 in the morning before it turned into the 405 parking lot, which looked like a sea of, red lights that belonged at Christmas versus on a freeway, just to get to my first client at the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, ready to count that first repetition. And then from that moment on, at 5 o'clock in the morning, I would train back to back to back, 16 clients in a row, helping them transform their lives, helping them lose 1 pound at a time, brutally through every single 30-minute workout that I took them through. And this moment reminds me of the time that I stepped foot into Gold's Gym in Venice, California. If you know Gold's Gym, Venice, California, this is the mecca of bodybuilding and fitness. This is where all the fitness gals and fitness guys go to get in their best shape ever, to transform their bodies. And one day when I was in there, this kind of rough but kind gentleman approached me and said, "You know what? Have you ever thought about getting paid to lift weights?" And I thought to myself, well, shoot, I'm a broke college student. I know I'm pretty strong. I didn't know how strong I was, but this sounds great. To make money doing what I'm already doing, this sounded like an amazing opportunity. So I said, yes, let's go for it. I proceeded to lift 165 pounds over my head the first day off the rack, and the whole entire gym stopped and was in shock, as was I. Then it was very interesting. My strength coach explained to me the difference between strength training and powerlifting. You see, strength training is more about this overall fitness aspect, right? It's this overall general fitness that you want to maintain in your body. Whereas powerlifting is actually reaching your 1 rep maximum. What is the maximum potential that you can do in one ginormous lift? So we proceeded to train for the next 6 months, just to get that 1 repetition with the maximum powerlifting weight that I could lift over my head. 6 months later, I increased my power by 15 pounds overhead. At which point he said to me, "You know what? This is remarkable. I think I have a client for you." He just went through knee surgery. He needs someone to help him break through the scar tissue and break through all of the things that occurred through surgery. And I think you'd be the perfect person. Let me introduce you to him. His name was Bob. Bob was that little angel that came into my life before I knew he was the angel. I helped him rehabilitate his knee. And because I helped him and I showed up for him when he needed it, he offered me the opportunity to move to New York City. Now, this was a major decision. I had celebrity clientele in Los Angeles. I'd built 15 years. So to take the chance, to take the leap for a new opportunity, what did I have to lose? What do you have to lose if you take the leap when an opportunity shows up? So I took it. Excited to step foot in New York City. Finally, now I don't have to be stuck in my car. The freedom to be able to walk anywhere I wanted at any time I wanted was just exhilarating. This freedom that I never experienced before. So I think about that same freedom of stepping onto that stage and walking into that confidence, having the courage to do that. And everything was clicking on all cylinders. Business was great. I was in New York City. I can walk down Broadway and look at all of these beautiful shows and go to any restaurant I wanted, whenever I wanted. In fact, I even got an opportunity to become a Lululemon ambassador. This was incredible. I'm brand new to New York City. And it was in 2008 that this all occurred. Then something extremely pivotal occurred. The moment that I realized I needed to share my stories with Bob, I was so excited to share with him all of the things that had taken place prior to me getting to New York City. So I excitedly walked over to his apartment. I had the key to his apartment because he had brought me on to his team for emergency purposes. And the minute I went up to the 26th floor on that elevator, something hit me. When I stepped off the elevator, I realized, is his apartment to the right or is it to the left? And for this split second, I was unsure. But then my intuition said to me, no, you got to take a left. Walk all the way down to the hall and take the left. And as I entered his apartment, there was this eerie sense of a presence there, but nobody was home. I proceeded to walk to the right side of his apartment, where I remembered he said that he had had a flood. Because I picked up on this very odd smell. It was not a smell of roses, let me tell you. It was not a smell of fresh cooking. It was a smell that represented a moment in time where Bob stopped. As I proceeded to the left side of the apartment, I found Bob on the floor, not able to move. His head was slightly underneath the bed. His lamp on his bedside had fallen. And at that moment, I realized he had had a stroke. He was alive, but unable to move. He was unable to break free and get out of his apartment to get help. So at that moment, I had to pull logic and calm and confidence into the scenario to do what was best for Bob. So I proceeded to put him in an ambulance and escort him to the hospital. And 2 weeks later, he passed away. It was at that moment I was faced with 3 decisions. I had one of three options to make. I could either freeze like that little girl that I was back about 14 years old, about to get on my balance beam at a gymnastics state meet. And my coach couldn't find me. They found me actually in the hallway, curled up like a snowball, shivering like a little leaf about to fall on to the cold ground. Or I had the opportunity to go back to Los Angeles and be stuck on that 405 parking lot with that sea of red lights ahead of me where everybody's going really fast, but actually going nowhere. Or I could rely on my skill set. I could rely on the creativity. I could rely on the courage. I could rely on the confidence of everything that had led up to that moment. And step out of my 700 square foot apartment in New York City to make it happen. What was I going to do in that moment to make it happen? I had no money. I had no clients. I had no family nearby. Nobody. It was just me. I had to make it happen. So what does this mean for you? What might you be stuck at that you feel helpless, fearful, frustrated? You don't know which way to go. Is it that job that you don't really like? You know that you're sitting behind the cubicle and you really don't know what to do? Is it that date that you know that you need to go on, but you're sitting in your apartment, hiding in your pajamas, afraid to get out there? Or do you step out just like I did to be seen and to get out of my comfort zone, to have the courage to walk my dog and take the gym outside, to try to encourage new clientele because I had no business, I had no money. But I knew I needed to show up for someone else. So I brought my music, I brought my dancing, I brought my dog, and I brought my weights, knowing that every single building on Riverside Boulevard in New York City had at least 300 people in it. So in my mind, 300 people times 10 buildings, this is a lot of potential clientele. So I took that opportunity and I made it happen. And 10 months later, although losing Bob, it was the best thing that ever happened because it pushed me out of fear. It pushed me out of the comfort zone. It pushed me into a place that I never knew existed. So today, I invite you to break out of that fear. Step out of the ordinary. Go from where you are now and break free to make it happen to become the new you, the 2.0 version of you. Go from ordinary to extraordinary. Go from fearful to fearless. Today is the day because we don't know what tomorrow brings. Don't wait. Step out. Break free. Make it happen. Because the only thing that's standing in between now you and new you is the belief in yourself. Let's go on this journey together with courage, confidence, and creativity to make it happen. Today's your day.
Wow, that was incredible. Amen. Kristin, you made it happen. You broke free. You did freaking phenomenal. You must be so super proud of yourself.
Let's go.
Oh, you created an emotional pathway that we're going to continue to this day. So thank you so much for pouring your heart out for every single one of us, including yourself. And let this be the start of an incredible, incredible, incredible day. And that builds up the opening